The drinks were flowing like never before. Jace, Hayden, Popa, Simon, Bordvo, Geoffrey, Elder Merlin, even briefly Pablo, and many other residents of Haven all shacked up at Simon's Sippery for the evening getting plastered, with the party telling the tales of their recent adventures. It was during this time that, though brief, Nitro the Scout would make one of his 2 total appearances in the campaign so far, with the party sort of just meeting him at the bar while he was drinking. Later on, Jace went into detail about Smith Jones and Fuzzly in suburbia for a large group of people, and Simon interrupted them, mentioning that he had actually met Smith Jones previously. Shocked, everyone let Simon elaborate. It was years ago, far before Popa, Hayden, and Jace entered the apparatus. Simon was working as a barback at the tavern when a man landed in the upstairs room. A human. Nothing new, according to Simon. Everyone who landed in Haven landed in one of the upstairs rooms or around the town square somewhere, so he wasn't surprised by that fact alone. The thing that surprised him was the request the man had brought to him, after hearing throughout the tavern how skilled Simon was at spellcraft. The man entered Haven holding a teddy bear, and his request was to make the teddy bear sentient. Shocked, Simon informed the man that in order to do this, they would have to take a real life in exchange, and instead of reacting with shock or disgust, the man smiled. Regretfully. Simon couldn't turn down the gold at the time, and went through with the process. The party had just learned how Fuzzly was created, and this gave Hayden an idea. After everyone went back to their smaller conversation groups, Hayden pulled Simon aside, and questioned him further on the process of making inanimate objects sentient, and Simon gave Hayden a dire warning about the consequences of going through with this process. It was highly forbidden among honorable spellcasters, seeing as though it required murder in order to succeed. Hayden wasn't worried about this, and proposed Simon simply travel to another room in the apparatus, kill some bad guy or something. And handed him a plushie of Pikachu he had snagged from his bed in room 406. It also came with a rather sizable price in gold, to which Hayden was now indebted to Simon. As the rest of the party in Haven's residence continued partying and drinking together, Jace decided to show everyone the Wild Times gumballs he kept from the dollhouse in suburbia, and everyone had great fun messing around with the wild magic candies, but a drunken Popa decided to up the ante. He pulled Jace, Hayden, and Simon aside, and told them that he might have done an oopsie back when they were saying goodbye to Barakiel, and began to dig around for something in his backpack. "You didn't." Hayden grimly fixed his gaze on Popa in disbelief. "What the hell are you talking about?" Jace asked confusedly, as Popa's hand found the item it was searching for. "I might have borrowed this from Barakiel, without him knowing about it," Popa confessed as he pulled a strange-looking deck of cards from the backpack. It was immediately obvious this was no ordinary deck of playing cards. At first glance, they were noticeably larger, looking more like tarot cards than anything, but the backs were glistening with what looked like real gold, and they were covered with foreign runic symbols. Simon, who was visibly intoxicated like everybody else here, immediately recognized the artifact as his eyes lit up with both fear and intrigue. "By the gods, that's a deck of many things. Careful, Master Popa, the wrong pull from that deck could result in the most horrible of conclusions. That being said, I am curious and I trust you're prepared." Poyo note, none of them were prepared. Simon told the party that the deck of many things was an extremely powerful and potentially sinister magic item that could result in the most terrible fate, or it could benefit them greatly. It all depended on the card, which you had to declare before pulling. He also agreed to let them use the Sippery's bank if they chose to draw from the deck, seeing as though it came with a monetary price to do so. There was some banter back and forth from Jace and Hayden as to whether or not they should go through with it, but Popa's mind was already made up. He lifted his glass, finished his drink, and declared that he was going to draw one card from the deck of many things.